Grease these lips real quick.
Was it just me, or was that intro a little bit longer than what it was normally?
It sped up and then slowed down. It was weird.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. So y'all know how we do.
Ooh.
Y'all log on, tag your mothers and your fathers and your sisters and your brothers, tag your friends and your family. Get them on here. Share us.
Tell them to come on in.
We ain't talking until you do what I asked you to do. Am I New York
I don't
boy?
know for sure. I didn't know if it was just his hair or if it was that red light, but one of them is on.
Oh my God.
It's popping.
It's giving me what I need.
It's popping. I like it. I like it a lot.
No, I still forget that I did it.
I told you I do that.
Oh my God. What we doing?
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all coming? Okay.
So, they coming on in?
Yeah, they coming on in. I see them coming on in. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about COVID. I'm sorry. Let me stop. I think I'm from New York today. Today we're going to be talking about COVID and its impact on the ballroom scene as well as the nightlife club scene. So we have a couple of subject matter experts on the line that it's going to be able to kind of dive into those conversations. So first thing first, I want to go ahead and let you guys know who we are and what we do. We are the peer out. I'm sorry. That is somebody's role. Ooh. We are the outreach team at Rain.
You all right, Johnny?
I'm not okay today. Actually, I'm a little off. I am a little off.
I think everybody had an off day today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, today's been rough. But anyway, so we are the outreach team here at Rain. Traditionally, we will be out in the community, doing education, testing, and things like that. Due to COVID, we came up with a different way to kind of do outreach. It went through a social media platform. So as some of you know, that we're broadcasting this on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So you watching from all strands of life. We want to welcome you for joining in on us. So this is again a platform for us to kind of come together and talk about our own experiences, talk about things that we are experts in regards to that subject wise, and come together and have open conversation. The goal is to kind of get the community, the people that are watching, to kind of join in the conversation. So again, feel free to type in something, type in a question. Feel free to inbox us so that we can look at those questions. If you want to be anonymous, it's totally fine. And if we can kind of address those questions and answers. So I want to give a shout out to our sister organization called Crew. Crew stands for
Community Resource Empowerment Wellness. I'll take over, Johnny. I got you, baby. No worries. Because that's just my heart right there. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing? I'm Sean. I'm the peer outreach specialist. I work with Rain and also with Crew. Crew stands for Community Resource Empowerment Wellness. We specialize in harm reduction as it relates to substance use. So if you know anyone dealing with substance use issues, or if they feel like they don't even have problems, or they even have mental health issues, please send them my way. Even if they need a therapist or a peer just to kind of just talk to, or somebody just to be in their corner and help them get through this whole, this pandemic itself is a lot to deal with. So if you need someone just to talk to and just be a peer, please reach out to me. My number will be broadcasted below, and I also have an email available. And just hit me up, okay? We can talk about some things.
We'll talk about somebody fixing his hair. Anyway.
We'll talk about somebody fixing the hair. We can also kind of dive into you as well. What component of the outreach do you do?
I am Patrice. I am the prep case manager here at Rain. What I do is I run a program that makes for people who have little to no health coverage or insurance to be able to get onto PrEP for free. And it also allows them to have a doctor that they go to on a regular basis, as well as gives them access to things like counseling, and food insecurity, and housing, stuff like that. But if you need somebody to kind of help you walk through life and you want to get on PrEP for free, give me a call.
Oh, I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
My name is Justice. I am the Epi Youth Navigator at Rain. I'm new to the outreach team, so I'm basically bringing that razzle dazzle of the youth to the outreach team. You know what I'm
Not the razzle dazzle.
Yeah, we love a little razzle dazzle.
That's right.
So yeah, pretty much do a holistic thing as far as like housing, food insecurities as well, counseling, not like actual counseling. I can direct you to a counselor, but you also be a listening ear. Yeah, just a whole lot of, I'm a friend when you need a friend indeed. And that is me.
Thank you, Justice. Last but not least.
Hey, I'm Bryce. I'm a peer retention specialist at Rain. I work with people who are positive for being out of care, and I get them back into care. I case manage them for a year, so yeah.
Well, thank you, Bryce, for that dry. I really appreciate the love.
I'm Bryce. You don't think you're gonna get out of here without doing yours? You always be trying to sneak through.
Because it's just I don't know.
You're not gonna put everybody else on the spot and then dodge the spotlight.
It's about you guys. It's not about me. It's about you guys. So we're gonna move this right on along. I'm gonna actually bring up this because you know what time it is. It is Listen Up with Sean.
I'm
Time to be messy.
Y'all listening around like, what's up? Y'all listening or not? Listen, y'all. I got a couple things I want to talk about today. I got some spicy stuff and I got some nice stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. You know what I'm saying? I seen this article that was on the internet. It was about Little Kim. And she's supposed to be having a bio coming out pretty soon. And in the bio, when she said that, about her life, she started stating a couple things that her bio was going to be about. But she also stated that the only person that she would want to play her would be Tiana Taylor.
Well, in the last movie, she wanted it to be an Asian girl, didn't she?
Yeah.
Did she say that?
And then they got Notorious.
Her black and Asian.
And she hated that Notori was playing her.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
It was a whole situation. And now you want Tiana Taylor.
I don't see how Tiana Taylor could even relate to.
They don't look alike.
Right. They don't live the same life either.
Tiana Taylor's like an R&B singer. Like Lil' Kim was like a rapper. She doesn't even give me that even genre of what Lil' Kim probably seductive clothing wise, with the neck, the looks. No, but I don't see anything else that kind of would even make
Tiana Taylor is what she wanted her plastic surgery to look like.
No, ma'am. We're not doing that. You're not going to.
But that was it.
You're not disrespecting.
That's why she wants Tiana Taylor.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
You really think Tiana Taylor looks better than her? No.
Yeah.
Wait. What happened? Say that again.
He's not disrespecting the queen. He's not disrespecting Lil' Kim.
You said Tiana Taylor looks better than Lil' Kim?
Yes.
No, I know y'all don't think that. When Bryce was talking about that's how she wanted her plastic surgery to look, I was like, she looks like a man in a wig.
I don't agree with that either. Tiana Taylor is pretty.
Tiana Taylor is gorgeous.
Oh my God.
Tiana Taylor is very, very, very pretty to me.
Yeah.
That's why we call them opinions.
Yes.
You know what?
We do.
We not no.
I'm not doing this today. I don't got time. I ain't going nowhere.
I'm not doing that.
Next case.
Where's my gavel?
Next case.
Next case is closed. Next case. All right, listen. Now, y'all know we've been in the pandemic for a minute. You know what I'm saying? People have started doing so many different things. Start hustling and making money so many different ways, right? So you know what I'm saying. I know that this OnlyFans thing has been it's become a a really major big thing. Everybody's creating a OnlyFans. Well, I came across another article that was giving me Fat Joe.
And DJ Khaled has
DJ Khaled is getting ready to start at OnlyFans, right?
Yes.
So now listen, this the gag. So I had to make sure I had to dig in a little bit more, get a little bit more dirt, make sure I was understanding what was going on because I really wasn't understanding the concept of these two men saying that they were getting ready, to collab and make an OnlyFans. Because usually when you think about OnlyFans, that's like a erotic, sexual. Y'all help me out here. What house would you describe OnlyFans?
It's porn site. It's amateur porn.
Yeah, literally. Okay, we can say that. It's that type of platform. But as I read on, they said that they were going to use the platform because I guess some people are using OnlyFans platform as well to get out to the community and talk about different things and release new music as well. And so I guess they're actually going to be collabing supposedly to reach out to the youth and give positive, I guess, like empowerment to the kids or something on OnlyFans though.
So why are you making people pay for empowerment and positivity when you could just get that out for free?
Right. It's the face for me. But Patrice.
Well, I think that I've been seeing. I think over the years how popular OnlyFans have gotten. I do think that there are a lot of people that are doing other stuff on it than erotic, sexual things like that. So I think the platform has grown a lot in regards to its usage.
Right.
And I also think of it as like if they are doing that, if that's something what they're going to do, I do think that is a nice way for them to kind of recoup their funds because like I've also heard that like some people are using OnlyFans like SoundCloud, but now they're able to kind of get paid for. Like I'm dropping music, I'm dropping videos on OnlyFans, and I now have the money can come right back to me as opposed to going to A, B, and C and whatever.
Right.
So in that case, I can see how that would work and how we can benefit from that. But I don't know.
I don't see how you. I mean, for you, if that's who you're trying to reach, I don't think OnlyFans
because they broke.
Platform.
What would it look like for like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old to be like, I want to follow DJ Khaled and Fat Joe on OnlyFans, ma.
I don't think that that's a demographic though. I think that when they usually talking about what we define as youth between 18 and 24. Or 16 to 24. I think that in my opinion, I could be wrong, but
still, bro, we paying for Netflix, so I gotta pay for you to give me positivity. Positivity should be shared to the world.
Could you release that on HBO Max, please? I already like him.
I don't want to talk about HBO Max. Don't do it. You're holding my DC shit hostage.
Oh my goodness,
Lord.
I had to talk about that, y'all. I had to get that one off, but y'all know I had to end it. We got to end it with a really, really good one, and y'all know how I feel about this. I'm really happy. Okay. We're going to touch bases about this inauguration and why did Trump pardon the people that he pardoned before he decided to leave this White House. Okay.
Because they paid him to.
Oh my God.
When his aide came out and said that the standing price was 1.5 and you too can get a pardon.
Isn't that illegal?
Of course it's illegal. Everything that nigga done in the office is illegal.
Yes. However.
I'm glad that he's gone, but I just don't trust it.
I don't either.
You don't trust it?
These crazy people are still running around doing the most.
Agreed.
Hopefully when he's dead in a couple of months.
I did like Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez did look good.
My God, y'all don't let that go.
She looked good. She looked really, really good. Yeah. And my favorite girl, Lady Gaga. Y'all know I love Gaga.
She looked good.
Yeah.
You said again?
She did look
Five
good.
right.
She did look good. She looked good. I'm not really a big J-Lo fan as far as
I do like Lady
wise,
Gaga.
but Lady Gaga is definitely my baby. I love Lady Gaga. That's my heart. I love her.
I
I just
prefer
want to
Katy
know
I'm
Perry's
mad I didn't get to
performance
see
J-Lo
John
over
for,
Legend.
J-Lo's.
for these events.
I
Did
missed
you
all
say?
of
Hold
that.
on. Did he say he prefer Katy Perry over Gaga?
No, I said J-Lo, baby. Listen up. I prefer Katy Perry's performance over J-Lo's. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Listen.
Katy Perry. Yeah, I'll take Katy Perry. Yeah.
Yeah, Katy Perry's performance, I liked it.
Okay. Well, we're moving on.
Are you a J-Lo fan?
I'm. So yeah, I am. I'm not going. Yeah, I'm a J-Lo fan. I love J-Lo. As a matter of fact,
I
love
don't know
J-Lo.
her
Okay.
in my Mariah Carey voice.
Okay.
I don't
That's
know her.
Mariah Carey voice.
I mean, she's a dancer. Of course he's a fan.
Who is she?
Oh, y'all are crazy.
Yes,
I
a
don't know.
dancer and an actor.
No, Shade, I'm sorry, but that was funny to me because yeah.
J-Lo.
And she can sing. Now she's not the best singer. I'm not saying that she's the best singer. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But she can sing. She can sing.
And she definitely can dance her butt off.
Ooh.
Now she's a dancer, yes.
Yeah, she's a
dance.
dancer. She's a great
She's
dancer.
a fly girl,
She
yeah.
can shake
And
that
And
she
she
ass.
wears
can
beautiful
sing.
gowns.
But she's
She
not
was
the
a fly
best
girl.
singer.
That's how she got in.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic.
She wears lovely.
Gorgeous
Is that it?
gowns.
That was the last one, Johnny. Wait, but that's like, why? You can't end it like that.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on for next topic. I'm ready to move on.
Well, let's go ahead and jump on the topic then. Let's go.
All right.
Let's move
So
on
that
then.
so we just
Yes,
bringing. So we're bringing Listen Up with Sean to a close. Thank you for that. So today's topic is actually going to be led by Sean as well, unfortunately. But today we're going to be talking about COVID-19 impact on ballroom and nightlife. So before I actually give it off to Sean, I did want to bring a very special guest on the line. Before I bring this amazing man on this line, I wanted to kind of give you a little information about who he is. My pop, name is Ronald G. Murray. Is also known as it's also known as Icon Ron Drama, the overall godfather of the House of Exclusive Live-In. Ron is from and lives in Columbus, Ohio. He attended his first ball in the year of 1994. Ron Drama has been a member of Ron Drama has been a member of the following houses: House of Amani, House of Midori, House of Kenzu, House of Ibisu, and is a founding father of the House of Exclusive Live-In. Ron is a licensed social worker and a chemical dependency counselor who is well respected and a national expert level trainer. Ron has educated and advised many throughout the country, in particular the state of Ohio, the service providers, educators, and health department on the ballroom culture and the best practices to serve the ballroom community. Ron has had the honor of being the first person to do a TED Talk on the ballroom culture. Ron also owns his own consulting company named Peace of Mind, which is a consulting agency committed to providing personal and professional development / education to individuals and organizations throughout the country. Ron is also one of the creators of the newly launched service component of the House of Exclusive Live-In called XL Cares Initiative. So before we move on, I want to bring this handsome man on the line. How you doing? You muted.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Great.
So before we actually go on, I'm interested to talk about or hear about the XL Cares Initiative. What is that?
The XL Kills Initiative, CARE stands for Community Advocacy Resources Education Services. So, at my age in ballroom, I have more years of ball walking behind me than I see before me. And in order for me to maintain in ballroom, I had to figure out a place and a platform that I can do what I do in my professional life, but also benefit the community and culture that I'm so involved with. And I've been involved with over 27 years. And so I was a chapter father in my house, running a region and a whole chapter. And so I'm kind of got burnt out from doing that. And so I think I elevated to being an overall godfather. My responsibilities changed. And so I saw an opportunity to create something that the House of Lavin can be behind. We came from the House of Avisu, which was founded by Arbor Avisu, who started the Latex Project. And I don't know if you all heard about the big balls they do in New York for over almost 30 years, which was invested in community service, HIV, education, things like that. And so that passion and that streamline and that bloodline still stays within me. So XL Cares, what we do is we get involved in the community a little bit more, involving our house internally, externally, as well as the ballroom community. So the first thing that we did, I should probably have a link for it. We did a ballroom votes campaign, and we called it Ballroom. We vote together, we stand together for a change. What we did was have some of the house leaders across ballroom send in videos, and we just did a video campaign right before the election. We launched that in October. Some other things that we're working on right now is April, I think 14th, maybe, don't quote me on the date, is National Volunteerism Week. So we kind of want all the chapters that we have in La Vin and other houses in those cities to kind of do a volunteer project that week. We want to get involved in AIDS walks across the country. We also want to be able to make sure that we are linking resources to our members and people across the country. As a social worker, when I got in ballroom, I didn't know that my job as social worker would extend into ballroom. So I often get people hitting me up from California, Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina. Where can we get services? Where can I get tested? Where can I get prep? How do I get on Medicaid and get my medications paid for? So I found myself, when I got off work, doing the same work for the community that I love. And so those are kind of things that we want to do with XL Cares, and linking other people in other houses that have some of the same initiatives. Like the House of Garcon they have Ballroom We Care, which is community drug addictions in the ballroom scene. There's so many different initiatives that have in ballroom. We want to figure out how to link them together so we all can work in tandem.
I love that.
Like that.
Mm-hmm. So I actually like that a lot. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the topic. I'm gonna go ahead and give it over to Sean. You can kind of take over, love.
All right, you guys. Listen, I came up with this topic. I was really intrigued by some responses that I was getting from some of my peers and my friends about the whole COVID-19 and pandemic and the mandates and things that we have going on. And being that I'm also in the community as well, and I'm emceeing, hosting, and commentating sometimes at these clubs and things, and still here in Charlotte, I just wanted some feedback. I wanted some people to kind of give me some stuff to put in my ear, so I can kind of just, grow off that and even be able to go back in the community and give some information as well. So I wanted to ask you guys, the first question that I had on here is, how does everyone feel about COVID-19 now that we have been in the pandemic so long? Like, what are your views on the whole COVID-19 stance? Like, what's going on in your head with it?
So I kind of feel like I'm definitely tired of it. I'm definitely tired of talking about it. I'm tired of wearing these damn masks. I'm tired of social distancing. I'm tired of not hugging people. I'm tired of not being able to not see people, certain people that I want to see, including my grandmother. So I'm tired of like this. And it's hard to kind of like I'm a homebody naturally anyway, but now that I'm forced or I'm to be home, I want to be out, things like that, because I'm just naturally rebellious. That's kind of sort of where I'm at with it.
I'm definitely over wearing the mask all day. Right. However, it's still something that's very serious, and it's not. I feel like it's not something that's going to disappear anytime soon. I feel like we're still going to be dealing with this until like 2025. Keep it hot, and it's just something that we're gonna have to adapt to, get accustomed to. But I definitely feel like people are itching to get back out and socialize. So I feel like people are already playing Russian roulette. I feel like people are gonna keep playing Russian roulette with COVID.
I feel like we need to follow New Zealand so that we can all go back to normal. I feel like it's been taking this long. I'm over it. You know, I want to travel. You know, I want to be able to do things without thinking, oh, I might die or I might get, you know, really, really sick, you know. And I want people to stop forcing this vaccine down my throat. I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, I'm just over it. I'm just over it. And I just think that, you know, Cousin Joe need to go ahead and go on in this White House and lock it back down for a couple more weeks. And people need to just listen this time. And maybe when we come back off of a lockdown, we ain't got to wear masks and do social distancing and everything. Because you would think that something like this would, you know, bring the cleanliness out of people. And it does not. So.
Woo. Ha ha. No. I need Joe to go ahead and shut it down nationally. At least 2 months. That's how long it's going to take for all of this to clear up.
Like, but we all had to be in unison too, because last time not.
Yeah, that's why I said nationally. You got to shut it down. Shut all the airplanes down. All that shit. Shut it down. But you know, then we're gonna have your people out there talking about, have you seen my hair? I need a hair appointment.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Not yeah.
Yeah, like
no cap.
How you go 3 months without a hair? That was hard. 3 months without a haircut. It was rough.
Oh yes, y'all were trying about the hair.
You weren't going anywhere. Why did you need a haircut?
Because you just get tired looking past the mirror and you're like, ooh.
Wait, but can you imagine being at home depressed because you at home, can't do nothing, and you get up and look in the mirror and see yourself? I need something like, no.
No, for real, though. Like, seriously.
I mean, I guess I see it different. It was a blessing and a curse. I guess I'm looking at it differently because I think it gave us a time to slow the hell down.
That's true.
I'm kind of pissed at it because I almost lasted the whole damn pandemic. I just got over COVID a couple of weeks ago, and so I was pissed that I done been all over the damn country and I did it at work. So, but I think for me, the pandemic, and it's difficult. It's hurtful. The lives that's lost, and I think it gave the country a time for us to slow the hell down. And the reason we don't like to look at ourselves in the mirror because we're avoiding what's looking back at us. So when we're forced to be in our spaces, and then it also showed the plus side of it is that it showed the vulnerabilities of our country and the systematic racism when it comes to people of color and healthcare and disproportionate. I'm about to get on my soapbox and disproportionate effective of lack of money, lack of care, lack of resources. And then it also showed the systematic racism that's been built up against us and allowed it to expose itself. So that's the plus side of it.
I feel like if it wouldn't have been a shutdown, the Black Lives Matter movement wouldn't have had all of the push behind it that it did.
Exactly.
I feel like people were stuck at home and they could not get away from it, so they actually had to see it. And I think that turned on a lot of lights for a lot of people.
But you know what you make a sense is, Patrice, the 60s civil rights movement wouldn't have happened if TV wasn't invented. So we wouldn't have had the movements that we had in Selma and all over the country.
Yeah.
It wasn't video. Same thing with Black Lives Matter. We ain't got shit else to do. We done watched everything on Netflix. Now we got to watch CNN and all the black people pissed off because they killing us. And they're killing us for years. Now you're listening. I used to live this. Now you want to cry white tears, apologies. And we had this shit for 20 years. So there was a plus or minus to it for me.
I get it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. That was deep. Yeah, I was really interested. I'm just his soaking it all in. Like, all right. I mean, if I have to give my opinion on it, just answering the question, I'm gonna be real subtle and quick about mine. I don't know. Like, I'm one of the ones that I don't like to be in the house too long. Like, I don't like being forced to do something. Like, I like to be able to move and go as I please. However, getting on to the next, question as well, I'm about to start talking about that. I was going to ask, has anyone been out during the mandate, or during the pandemic? And go ahead and just speaking on that. Of course, like I said before, I'm out in the clubs. I'm commentating on the mic. I'm hosting. I'm emceeing. I'm still at the clubs now. I'm going to host an event later on. But even in doing so, I'm still trying to make sure I'm abiding by the guidelines, wearing my mask and practicing social distancing and trying to make sure I'm doing the correct thing and sanitizing my hands and washing and everything like that. However, you see some of your friends in the club. You see a couple people in the club that just don't want to listen and abide by guidelines, and it makes you question a couple of things about the situation about being out. So I get the truth.
How you ever
makes
dance
you
with a
question so
mask
many
on?
things. Like it's
so
crazy
weird.
how my mind.
We don't like that.
How you ever leaving the club at 10 o'clock is so weird because you're so used to getting to the club at 10 o'clock.
I feel like a drunk when I'm getting a double shot at 7. I do not like it.
And then imagine
I don't like it at
with
all.
a mask on. It's already hot in the club. Just stay home.
So
just stay home.
But here's the thing, though. Like, and it's so easy for us to say stay home. Like, and I agree with that. I'm not saying I don't really disagree with that. But I just think from a club owner standpoint, like a lot of clubs were talking about shutting down if they had not moved something, they had not did something. Things like that, and not shutting down temporarily, shutting down permanently because they do not have the money to kind of continue to pay for their bills, like that. And while and so I was so conflicted with that. Like I don't want this club to shut down for when post COVID and it's time for us to kind of go back out and party. We don't have no clubs and stuff like that to do anything with them more because they've all been kind of shut down. They weren't able to survive COVID. So I was supporting in regards to keeping their them figuring out something else to do and actually trying to keep their doors open and and doing it in the daytime and trying to find what and social distancing and things like that. I was at first I have been very nervous about me going out and exposing myself to it, so I didn't want to be a part of that. But I understood we have to do something to keep our doors open. Like I remember seeing there were clubs on Facebook, trying to do a GoFundMe accounts because they needed to stay open. They didn't have the money to stay open, especially when we were in that mandated where they could not open at all. It was sad to see that.
And there was a lot of ticket only day parties too. Everything closes at 10, so you have an event during the day, but you got to keep your numbers down. So you got to have like a certain number of people that can come in and come out. So
I wasn't mad at it because I'm old. 10 o'clock is overtime for me, baby.
Why did I say that? I said that.
So I wasn't doing no day parties, no damn way. I'm going to TJ Maxx, the grocery store at home. So y'all close that shit down. I don't give a damn. I'm in bed by 7. Who cares?
I don't know. I feel it because I'm 24 now. 24. Wow. It's so weird. Like, hey, they tell you do all of this in your 20s, and then like we're in the middle of a pandemic. So what can you do? And then you pull something like and then it's like they're like, oh, have small gatherings, but there's no such thing as a small gathering. As soon as the address gets out,
that's it. That's it.
What about the ballroom community in particular? Like, how has COVID impacted the ballroom community?
So get on my soapbox again. Here's the thing about the ballroom community is that we pivot. So ballroom community came around the early 70s, right after the height of civil rights movement, right around women's suffrage and the women's movement, right before the Stonewall riots were happening. We've been there when major movements have happened across the country, including pandemic. So ballroom people initially have always been historically the ones people have overlooked. So when I started ballroom, you didn't tell anybody you were in ballroom because they all thought we were gangs, we fought, we did drugs, we wrote checks. So you didn't admit that and it was worse in the 70s and 80s. So when pandemic happened, we pivoted. So what we do, we went on Bigo, we went on Zoom and started having live balls. And for crap, the same. So they were getting dressed in their living rooms, in their backyards, and having functions. People were in one box on Bigo commentating. The DJs in another box, and we started doing that week too. Like we gonna have a ball. The other thing that the pandemic for us, for a lot of houses, we had to learn how to understand that. Like I said in the beginning, a ballroom house should be and is more than just walking balls. It's living, breathing individuals who are having issues. So a lot of times people are going to balls because it's the only time that they get some praise in life is boost their self-esteem. It's the only time they get to be around a social circle, and that hug stays with them to the next ball. And so, like for me, I remember as Icon, I'm 46 years old now, and so I wear glasses. I don't wear them to the ball. I can't put on contacts because I got allergies, so I can't see shit. So I don't remember people's names. I remember faces. So when people walk up to me and say, "Oh my God, Ron," blah 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 blah, I do. Grandma do. "Oh my God, baby, hey sweetie," because I don't want to be that bitch that didn't tell them hi, and they go out there and something happens bad to them or they have a bad experience with me. Right. And so a lot of people in ballroom who don't have a name are like that. So when we pivoted it, it also gave people who didn't have a chance to walk the major balls because they weren't in the house to be seen. So internally, what we've done in some of our houses, this is about La Ben, and I know other houses have done it, we started having functions inside of our houses. We started having support groups. We started having spirit week. This is from March to May. Every Friday night, we had a happy hour, and everybody would get on Zoom and get their favorite cocktail and read each other. We started learning about our own house history and started having interviews and things like that. And ballroom just adapted quickly because we've always been adaptable. We've always got the scraps of society. Now, we may be hitting mainstream now, but we're used to having to pivot. So, like I said earlier, I have been to Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta, Kentucky. I had a ball in Kentucky. So I've been kicking over the summer. I was like, if I probably got it, didn't know it, so I'm good. Then I get home and go to the courthouse and get fucking COVID. So that's a whole other story. But the thing about ballroom, and I think some people, just like you said about the clubs, it's not about the promoter at the ball who's making the money and things like that. It's really about that social gathering. This is people's family. You have people who've been in ballroom and their regular families don't talk to them. You have a house, and it is not just your chapter in your city in Charlotte. It's your chapter in your city in Charleston and West Virginia. Those people bring that energy to you and give you that hug and that love that you need. For many of us, it's not even about the ball. It's what happens after the ball, the interaction, the rapport, the brunches, the family dinners, staying up all night playing dominoes and cards and reading each other, and somebody getting up in the morning with a bonnet on and a robe cooking eggs. That's what you're missing because it provides that family structure that you want to have so badly. So COVID, like even this past weekend, every time you see a ball video or ball live, you have the people, "Oh my God, where's your mask? Where's your mask?" Bitch, you in Alaska. You okay? I've asked you up when I'm doing a goddamn mask in Atlanta. Chill out. What's wrong with you? The same ones. Now here's the funny part. This is what I'm gonna get. Early in the pandemic, there were people that was like, "Oh my God, my house and I will never be at a ball until this pandemic is over with. Until we have you all are crazy." Them hoes was at the ball last weekend. The same ones that was reading all of us in June was the fake marching and proudly on Saturday at a 6-hour ball. No mask. Okay. At least my house has live in mask. We're prepared. So it's really been one of those things where I don't. So every time I go to a ball, people, "Oh, I saw you at a ball. Aren't you scared to get the virus?" Baby, I got so many other viruses in my body, bitch. COVID can just join the club. Fuck it. We got to know about it. COVID just join the party. Because at this point, I feel like you're going to have to figure out, because we're never going to get back to normal. There's no normalcy at all now. I'm never going back to work 5 days a week. I don't give a fuck what they say. I like 2 days home, 3 days home, 2 days in. So I'm on the work laptop now. So they scrapped it when they gave me a VPN. You won't see me till next Wednesday. Okay? There's no new normalcy. What COVID forced everyone to do across the world was create what a new normalcy is and realize that I'm more productive at home. What it also did is made us pivot and realize what is important to us. And so a lot of people think that going to the balls, even going to the club, it's really just about going to that function. It's really not. It's about me being in this house for 10 months. And I'm stuck in a house with an abuser. I'm stuck in a house with my mother who won't use the name I chose and want to use my given name. I'm stuck in a house with somebody who calls me a faggot all day and gets drunk and wants to beat on me. So when I say there's a function, I'm coming because this is the only reprieve I get. I don't have a place to go. I'm stuck in the house and I'm depressed. And I'm tired of talking to myself, giving myself the same wrong answers.
Yeah.
I don't. We've done telemedicine. Like as a counselor, I've done the telemedicine thing. It is one of the other things that we pivoted to, but it's nothing like the human contact.
Right.
Like my aunt was here from she lives in Atlanta. My aunt, my mom's oldest, so she's like 73, and she came in town because my uncle had passed away early in the pandemic. So she came in and had to stay here for 2 weeks. And she said before, I was not going to see my aunt. I had seen her in 2 years. I was not going to see my aunt Vicky. And when I got to the house, she had a mask on. I had a mask on, and we were sitting on couch to couch. By the end of the night, I'm sleeping in her lap like I always do, because I miss that touch. She smells like my mother. Her hands look like my mother. My mother's passed away, so I needed that. And that's the same thing with ballroom and being around the people that love and support you. I'm done.
that was deep. I like that though. You were speaking.
It really is.
It was definitely speaking. That was deep. That was really deep. That was deep. Are we moving on to the next one? Does somebody else want to tag in and say something? What's good?
Yeah. Does somebody want to tag in to kind of add on what Ron was talking about?
I mean, I can speak for. I'm in a Kiki house. I'm in Hendrix. I'm not in mainstream ballroom no more. I used to be a Chanel, but I went to a ball here recently, a Kiki ball, and just seeing how the community. Of course, you're not gonna have everybody on one accord. You got people out there voguing. Of course, they're gonna take their mask off, and you actively doing stuff when you're in the ballroom scene and when you're out on the floor. So like everyone is not going to be wearing a mask. But however, you know what I'm saying, just like you said earlier, sometimes it's family. People, they're gathering, they want to see each other. They haven't seen each other in so long. They're going crazy. People out here, I deal with substance use, so I know people start to, dabble in drugs more when they're at home and they by themselves because of their depression and their anxiety. Like they're starting to dabble and do different things. So sometimes just to get out and be able to have that communication and that bond and that hug and that touch from that friend or that person, your sister, your gay mother, your gay father, somebody you haven't seen because they're like miles and miles away. It feels good sometimes just to be in that space. So I know a lot of times people ask me like, why am I out? I've had some of my family members ask me like, oh, Sean, I see you out at the club and you on that mic, you're not scared. And I'm telling them like, some of these events I don't even get paid for. I'm just doing it for the community. I want to be able to be out there. I'm giving the community an open space. I have a club owner who gives me the space and says, just do whatever you want to do. I just want you to have people come here. Like, okay, cool. Let me just go out in the community, have my little Vogue night here this night. Let me have a little karaoke night this night. Let's have a little chill and vibe night this night. You know what I'm saying? Let's just do something to get. It don't have to be everybody. I don't need all the support, but just to have people to be able to have somewhere to get, together
to
and be
get
able
people
to have
out.
Mm-hmm.
The club life here had already started going down, so it's not like if one of them bars closes, it's going to be like this super big thing. Scorpios, yes, it's a large bar. Everybody loves it. It's been there forever, but it's also been on the decline for the last 8 years. And with this new owner, it's just getting weirder and weirder. After that, you don't have nothing but 316, and what's the other one? Woodshed, that's fun. And Sideline. The Woodshed.
Woodshed, oh yeah. Chases. We had 360. 360 wasn't shut down because of us, y'all. They had a straight event and the straight people wanted to keep fighting and stuff, so they shut it down.
That's a straight stuff fighting.
Does happen. But I think that just like you were saying about the clubs, a lot of restaurants that are owned by regular people are going through the same thing. And that is unfortunate because you have servers and people that live off of cash and they literally have nothing. So a lot of that extra money that people want to go use and go to the club, they don't even have club money anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
So it doesn't even matter because they don't have a job, they can't go nowhere. And that's the worst, where everybody going to the club and you can't go because you're broke. It's the worst feeling.
So I think I actually want to get back to what Ron was talking about in regards to like, going to balls, and things like that, and still like going, to different places and traveling from city to city and things like that, and while I understand the mental component of that and the emotional component of that, I think that I'm always going to ask this question: is it worth the risk? And that is something that like I kind of struggle with myself. I waited 10 months or however, I can't think how many months it was, but when COVID started until it finished, until November, which is Thanksgiving time, I had not seen my grandmother either. And of course, it wasn't that long time frame in regards to what Ron was just talking about for 2 years, but it had been 10 months was a very long time for me not to see her, and we stay in the same city, and things like that. And so I battled with myself. I prayed and everything, that okay, I'm gonna do Thanksgiving at my house. It's gonna be very small and very minimum. If my grandmother should come, I'm gonna things like that, and I wanted her to come and things like that, and whatever. But I kept battling myself. Is it worth it? Like, is it worth it? Like, and I ended up, I ended up making a decision to say I'm going to see my grandmother. Like Ron said, I'm not going to it's just no way. It's Thanksgiving. It's that time frame. But I battled so much. Is it worth it? And I'm asking Ron, is it worth it to kind of do all of that traveling and seeing that?
So I've watched your show a few times. Do you all call people out on bullshit?
No, yeah.
Okay. Because you went to Mexico during the pandemic, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Was that worth it?
Yes. Yes, I did. And
you asked the question.
So, okay, hold on. So let me explain. Let me explain this.
Explain.
It's totally fine, and I love it. So, what Ron is speaking of, I went to Mexico in June, and whatever. And my friend, hold on, and my friend had a surgery in Mexico, which is why we were going. That was already pre-scheduled. So we went. Hold on. I went to Mexico, and we did the exact same thing that we did here, which was quarantine. Everything was shut down there, just like it was shut down up here. Everything was there was no interaction with nobody. We had our own room and things like that. We didn't get no maid service, none of that. Everything was still shut down the exact same way. So the only risk or the only thing that was nerve-wracking for me would have been the airport. And even still, at that time frame, they were sitting people like apart. I flew with American Airlines, so I didn't have nobody on my row.
And but you didn't answer the question though. The question was it worth it? Not the explanation.
That's it.
So for me, the trip is different than me exposing my family member.
I answer the question.
So yes, it was worth it because I came back and I quarantined that. Things like that. However, that's a different conversation that I'm having in regards to me going out and doing something, not necessarily for myself, but me exposing somebody, my loved ones, to COVID.
Well, and the reason I ask you is not to put you on the spot.
No.
It's the same mindset and frame. So, is it worth it? What you see on a live and a video is not what's actually happening. You only get a macrocosm or a snapshot when somebody does an air raid. So when I'm at a ball and the balls I've been to, the table sections have been sectioned off by the houses. So there's no one but your house over there. 85% of people have masks on continually. Now, when you see people performing, it doesn't sound healthy to be in a mask when you're in a dip. Right. It don't sound healthy in a mask when you do on a machiavelli off the damn table. The other thing is people don't understand. So when people start going to balls and things like that, or in the club, or just getting out and socializing, you don't know what precautions they took before they got there. When they got home, we make assumptions that anything is not done. Mm-hmm. So it's easy to speculate at home. Oh, all 25,000 out in there, and y'all not safe. You don't know that. The other part about that is, again, everyone has to make an individual choice that fits for them, like you did. Like when you went with your girlfriend in Mexico, a third world country, they don't have the healthcare that we have here. We could have easily been exposed to the airport in Mexico.
They have better healthcare in Mexico than we have here.
You made a choice best for you. So everyone who was grown over the age of 18 who can vote, buy cigarettes, and shoot a gun can make individual choices based off of them. The consequences they face when they get home and after their individual choices, the consequences they face. So I can say that the balls that I've been to, and this is just not even a real statistic. I'll just say that I've been, like I said, I went to Chicago in October. I had a ball in Kentucky in August. I went to Detroit in July, and I went to Atlanta in December. And from all those balls, people will tell you, I exposed to COVID, you all gonna get tested. I think it's been like 5 people that I've known, and I don't know everybody, but people who put it on Twitter and Facebook, they got exposed while they were here. When I was in Atlanta, I knew I didn't get in Atlanta because, again, I had cooked dinner or served dinner for my house at a house party. So nobody in the house had got it. So I know my exposure didn't come till I got home. And again, the biggest thing for me after that particular ball, when I got diagnosed with COVID, was the first question, and you asked it, where'd you get it at? That is the most fucking annoying question in the world. I'm telling you. Just imagine in your phone for 400 people text you, where'd you get it? Where do you think you got it at? I work at a courthouse. I don't know.
But I actually be a smart ass because I knew you had been and it pissed me off.
I know, and that's what pissed me off is because that's your assumption. Because I had been home 10 days from that. So my symptoms didn't start till the 21st. I had been to work. I work, for you don't know, I work in the courthouse. I run a program for a municipal court here. And then I do community counseling. So I'd have been at work. I'd have been at my other job, working with people who are homeless, living in halfway houses. Yeah, I've been to Kroger's. Who the hell knows? At that point, who cares? So the biggest thing is that we make assumptions based on what we think someone has done, but you don't know what precautions were happening before and after. And again, we have to stop policing everybody's body. Like I'll give you a prime example. I sit on board of directors. I was at the board of directors at the office that I sit on Tuesday for a board meeting. I ran to the bathroom and left my mask. Now, keep in mind, I do this once a month. I have never seen anybody in this building, so I thought it was fine. I'm going to the bathroom. This Indian man, where's your mask at? Where's your mask at? I have a 94-year-old mother. She ain't here. Who you talking to? Go home. Like I cussed him out because I was like, I didn't have my mask on, but again, we still 6 feet apart.
Right.
The mask ain't gonna stop shit because I'm touching the handle, drinking the water fountain, and touching the toilet commode. It ain't stopping shit. So I told him, shut the fuck up, go about his business. Stop policing my body. Now, I don't like people who are anti-mask. Those are two different things. But every time we step out our door, we are taking a risk. There is no 100%. Condoms aren't even 100%. Unless they're used properly. I know the old school thing like that. We often, early in this pandemic, people kept comparing COVID to HIV.
Mm-hmm.
We got so much done in COVID because of what we've done in HIV. Right. The thing that really upsets me, and I'm going to use this analogy now, but I don't really agree with it, but I'm just going to be a hypocrite for like 30 seconds. We don't tell the same people that those of us who work in the field that we know how to protect ourselves from STIs and XYZ when we see barreless sex happening. Right? We tell them you're an adult and you make a decision based on you and your consequences. We tell you how to get treated afterward. We tell you how to get on PrEP, Miss Patrice. We tell you if you had exposure, get on PEP. We tell you about all these things here. The same thing can happen when you see people in large crowds. How to get tested and what to do after that. Instead of, oh, you shouldn't have been there. Because the same thing we tell people not to do when people are having high-risk behaviors, we're not doing that when it comes to COVID. There was a stark contradiction.
So I understand the whole, I want to be able to make my own choices, but at the same time, there's a social responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You just because you want to do what you want to do doesn't mean you can do what you want to do. At some point, you have to think of other people. That's like people who don't want to get vaccinated. My child don't have to get vaccinated to go to school. Yes, the fuck they do. That's how science works. You don't get to say, oh, this is not going to do this. This is not going to do that. And the problem with it is that when other people start seeing other people doing other things, it sparks a domino effect. Because it becomes, oh, it's not that bad. These people are being out. And I get the whole, don't police my body thing. But at the same time, this is a pandemic. And as a citizen of this world, you have a social responsibility to act like it's a pandemic.
So let me challenge that too. One of my biggest platforms and my biggest things that I talk about is care. Right?
Uh-huh.
We talk about it when we want people to get tested HIV and get them in treatment and care, right?
Uh-huh.
We want people to be diagnosed with certain mental health illnesses or even with health conditions, get them into care, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We talked about early on how this pandemic has exposed the systematic racism and the hypocrisy that the country has when it comes to persons of color, marginalized people, and people at socioeconomic levels, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So remember early in the pandemic, there was a house party in Chicago and everyone was taking pictures of it and the young man got arrested. You remember it was like Jermaine, it was like wall to wall. I think even the floor might fell out, one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got interviewed, the first thing he said was, one, I didn't believe it was real because I didn't see any black people, which was an ignorant statement. But the thing that stuck with me is he said, we get shot down here 10 of us get shot a day here. And all of a sudden you all come down here because we're having a party because it's a pandemic. Now I'm not excusing it, but what I'm saying is this, is that there was a large, and I'm not one of those people, there's a large number of people who have not been taught to socially have a mindset about, I don't want to do X, Y, and Z and protect myself so protect other people. Because there's a culture that hasn't been taught that. So the issue that I have when we talk about HIV treatment and care is that we don't care about an individual until they're HIV positive. If they're high risk or if they're negative, we tell them go on out there and get your next test, and then we'll link you to services. But you didn't teach them to care about themselves in the first place. Same thing comes with the pandemic or a sociological thing about it. Now, I'm not excusing the student. Everything you said, because everything you said was correct. I also think that, again, I don't know everybody's story, but I do know that the people that I was with or that I've hang out with, we did the precautions before we went to out of town and when we got home. So I didn't get home off a plane on Sunday and go to work on Monday. Right. You know, I'm blessed that I can work remotely. So I worked at home and said, I just got back from Georgia. Now, keep in mind, the whole damn country thinks Atlanta is open. Just so you know. The other thing that we have to realize is that we just got done with a tyrant who told us in a whole administration who said it's not that serious. So you have the doctors and everything on CNN, Dr. Fauci telling one thing, and the leader of the fucking free world is telling us something different. You can beat it. I'm Superman, blah, blah, blah. We have this contradiction. And keep in mind, our people, we the people, don't research shit. We see a headline or a clickbait on Facebook, or we see something on Fox or CNN or MSNBC. And so it's a contradiction that's happening that's killing us in this pandemic. So I definitely think there's a pandemic happening. I definitely think that there's more that we can do. I also think that sometimes people are not taking it as serious as they have. I can say that for myself, having gone through it. But also, we can't make assumptions that that the precautions weren't taken, that the CDC identified for them to take.
Right. Oh, and I get what you're saying. I get that. So in regards to that, we don't know what they went home and did. We don't know if they went home in quarantine and things like that. However, there are people, like for instance, the good example that you gave earlier in regards to the man that when you went to the bathroom, right? You know, I'm not really concerned about me, things like that. I don't know how this is going to affect my household, things like that. You know, so I'm policing your body in a way to where like when we talk, right. So I'm trying to make sure that what I got going on, and I'm not exposing my people based on my negligence. Or
let me give you a perspective.
Other people's negligence.
You see that chair behind you? You see that chair behind you, Johnny?
Yeah.
That pink thing there and that wall, that's where he was at. I was way over here when he walked in. Like I was like literally 20 feet.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, go ahead and go to the bathroom, sir. I'll go back in my thing. And he started snapping. That's why I cussed him out. Because you were 20 feet away and you saw I was going to step back because I didn't get it. So it wasn't like I was nose to butt. He was literally 20 feet away and they're racist anyway. And so he probably needed to be cussed out for what he probably thought in his head. But anyway.
I mean, even on that note too, just when you said that though, like we still say that we wear masks to protect ourselves more so than to protect the other people that are around us. The mask is to protect you. So a lot of times when I hear people always ask other people like where your mask at, I kind of get offended too, only in the aspect sometimes because like it's like you like it's for me it's like you grown, so you do have to make your own decision. But I feel like people should be smart enough to know, like, if I'm out in public, like, let me wear my mask. I shouldn't be having to ask you wear your mask because you're a grown-ass woman or you're a grown man. If you know you need to have your mask on, you need to have your mask on. I shouldn't have to reiterate that and tell you that when you know what's going on.
This country?
And Sean,
have you met?
You actually have it backwards. So if my mask is not to protect me, my mask is to protect the people. It's to protect other people. So
just in case if I already have COVID, I won't be putting it all up in your face.
I'm not. It's coughing in my mask. I'm not coughing outside of that. So that's what the mask is for.
So, but then you're assuming that people care about other people.
Yes, that's the assumption.
In the perfect world, you should. But
that's the assumption, and that is actually my whole point. That is the assumption. Is that right there? Yes.
Because there's people in our office with big signs on the window, do not walk around with no mask on. There's 2 ladies I see every day walking through that hall with no mask on. And like when I'm in the grocery store and shit, I will turn around and say, dude, do you know what 6 feet is? I'm gonna need you to back that shit up. I don't know
and
you.
That same lady be in the break room coughing using the microwave.
That's why I work remotely. That's why I'm home 3 days. Look, after the pandemic is over, I don't even like going to work as a cat lady. So anyway.
And there, excuse me, wear your mask.
So as leaders and as a ballroom leader and a respected leader, and other things that you are kind of into and got your hands tied into, how do you feel about the COVID? I mean, not the COVID. How do you feel about the vaccine? And what messaging are you giving out? Are you giving out to your children and your house members?
I don't know about the vaccine only because it's so early in. I get the flu shot every year. I've gotten a flu shot since I was a kid because I have asthma and other, health issues. I don't get a reaction to it. My mother did, but she probably would never have gotten the vaccine. I'd be honest with you, like I have children who have gotten the vaccination who work in public health. I actually told my nurse about it, and because I had COVID on 26, I had to wait till 26. I was like, well, maybe I should just go ahead and get around and get it now. But I kind of want to see a month or 2 from now if third eyes are forming and a third arm out somebody's back or a hump. I don't want to be the first round. And then I don't know. And this is just me as a skeptical Black man. I'm nervous about. I know, like I said, I know that HIV. A lot of the work that they did, a lot of the science came from HIV research in creating the vaccine. The RNA stuff, not a scientist, but like I know a lot of the RNA and RNA and RVNA and all that shit like that. A lot of that came from that. That's what they were so able to get it quickly. I'm still a little skeptical about the quickness of it. Right. Then I heard one report. I was watching CNN. They were saying one of the vaccines, I think, only lasts a year. It depends on which one you get. One was you have to do it every year. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out if this is going to be the devil's implant with 666 on it. I don't know. No, I'm trying to get to heaven. I don't know.
I remember the Bible.
I called my brother, who's a pastor. I said, "Are we getting the vaccination? Did the Saints get it?" He said, "Well, get off my damn phone." I said, "The Saints getting vaccinated because I need to know if Mother Rogers is going. Because if she's going, I'm going with her. That's what's going to happen."
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know. I will probably get it. I will probably get it, but I don't want to get the doctors that I use or the doctors I've been with for 20 years. They probably won't get it until they said in mid-February, March, and I'm good with that because I've had it. I have the antibodies. I don't know how long they last. I think they last a short time, so I'm good till February, March, so I can see if there's any big. And by that time, people would have gotten their second dose. Those who got it in January.
Right. The staff is kind of quiet on this vaccination. I mean,
you know how I feel about it. I do shit.
I do.
Go ahead.
No, she's not going to talk about how she feel about it. What you saying, Sean?
I mean, for me, I was going to say, I was one of those ones too when I first started off. When I first heard about the vaccination, I wasn't really on board about it because I was a little nervous. Like the same way, what was going to happen, what was the side effects? I was seeing people with, cerebral palsy and all these side effects about the doctor that passed away, and I'm just saying all this stuff that was on the internet about it. This is making my head spin about it, like not wanting to get it. However, after we did have that meeting with Dr. West on our live stream that day. I mean, that phone call that we had at work that day, and he gave us some more information about it. I did start feeling more comfortable enough to have that conversation with my mom, who's an RN, and get some more information. And kind of now I'm more like I'm on the lines of wanting to get it, but I'm still. I want to get a little bit more comfortable first. Let me get a little bit more information, and then I'll be good, and then I'll be fully on board. But I'm leaning. I'm on that side of wanting to go get it though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I feel like our guest Ron. I'm gonna wait till they get all the kinks out, because for one, and you said something about it earlier, like throughout the whole pandemic, there was just too much misinformation, miscommunication. And Black people, us, we already don't trust, the medical system. And I also feel like, they didn't, I don't know how can they didn't do a good job of saying like, hey, this is what it is. This is what's gonna be. Um, so it left a lot of confusion for me. But like you said, Sean, after our meeting with Wes, I felt a little more comfortable. But I'm still gonna wait till they get all the kinks out. All the people that get it early and they start walking backwards. I'm gonna let them fix that first. Then I'll get it.
Okay. I'm not ready to shake hands on it. I still don't. I feel a little airy about it.
You don't know yet.
I mean, around June and July,
I'll
I'll
feel
do
bad
it.
about it. I just don't even want to deal with it. Like honestly, it's just.
And now with the last death for the dude that didn't have no issues, now I'm really like, I'll wait. I will definitely wait.
And also, like, another thing is,
But I don't get the flu shots either. So,
and like y'all know that like my roommate got COVID and I didn't, and so that still doesn't sit well with me either, because it's like, how did that happen? We live together. So yeah, it's just too funky for me. Catch me in 2 months, actually.
Okay. Okay.
I think my last question, and this is gonna be on your caseworkers and peer navigators hat and social work hat. What would you say to our community, our HIV positive community, about being vaccinated? And what messaging would you give to them?
I would give them the facts. I think everybody deserves to know the facts to make their own informed decision. If they don't know anything about it, give them the information and disseminate it in a way that they can understand so that they can make their own decision.
Right. Or give them easy access to be able to access information about the vaccinations themselves, so they can actually just educate themselves and then just go from there. I never want to feel like I'm pressuring somebody though to do something. That's always been my thing with anything. I don't never want to like push it on nobody. So I always say just educate yourself and take matters on your own hands at that point. Once you educate yourself, if you feel like going to do it, by all means, I recommend it. If not, then wait till you fully get more information, or if you never roll around to it. I mean, hey, I'm not here to judge, but I strongly suggest.
I think it would be no different than any other medication that you give them. Our job on our side of the desk is not to encourage them to do anything. Right. Our job is to give them, like Patrice said, informed information, make them as knowledgeable about the plus and minuses as what it is, as what's in the literature, and ultimately the decision is theirs. You present in front of them, like I wouldn't push on, like they couldn't come and ask me anything medical because I'm not a medical doctor. I just give you the literature as I know it and encourage you to talk to a doctor to make decisions best for you. It's not my job to say you should do it X, Y, and Z.
Like that.
All right. Well, that wraps up the conversation today. Did anybody have anything you wanted to add or finish up with?
No, but thank you,
Ryan. I really enjoyed you.
Thanks for coming on and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. I was a filler.
I love your hair, by the way.
Thank you. Yes. I was a filler, and I had to show out for the kids.
You were not a filler.
I didn't get the call till 2:35 p.m. today. I had to give a little bit of mother.
Well, you were an awesome filler. You did your thing. I appreciate
it. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh. And you definitely will be back on different topics because we definitely loved you.
I would enjoy that. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on last minute and being the awesome man that you are and the awesome pop that you are. But anyway, y'all know how we do. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Tune in next week. We're going to be talking about. I don't know why I want to be from New York so bad.
When am I going to get some more letters?
Tight ass, you want to be like from New York, though? Like, for real?
Stress and anxiety.
You talking about stress or whatever?
Yeah, and
that'll be good.
And we actually are going to have a therapist on the line as well. So we've been tapping in really good on our guest speakers and stuff. We've been doing real good on it this year.
But February we got some good stuff though.
Yes,
I'm very excited.
on that as well. But without any further ado,
y'all ready?
Am I supposed to take my bra off? Should I take my bra off? Should I take my bra off? You ready? I didn't. What we doing? What we doing?
Wait, don't make me laugh. Hold on.
Wait, you gotta get serious. Look, Bryce like this.
Getting tested is what? It's sexy.
Yes. Getting tested.
Y'all might need to work